some of you know, I am returning to Adrian and Isolde's world, and it's been kind of hard for me because I am not the same person who wrote King of Battle and Blood and Queen of Myth and Monsters. And I think on one hand, that is a very good thing, because Kingdom of Spirit and Shadow requires just a higher level of execution, I think. But it's really hard to go back to work that you have previously written and no longer feel as connected to it, which is one reason why as I have been rereading QMM, Queen of Myth Monsters, I decided to edit. And it's not big things, it's not it's just deleting words really, and sort of changing, I think just saying things more concisely. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm just very much struggling with the return to this world that I haven't been in a really long time. And, how do I continue? Because I love the series and I have a vision for it, and I know where I want it to go. But as you evolve as an author, I had the same struggle when I went back to A Game of Gods, because in my brain, Persephone had evolved into a different person by that point. But I was regressing. I was going back in time to write A Game of Gods, and I remember it being really hard to shift back into her head, back into the person that she was at the beginning of Malice and Gods. And I feel this is a little different. This is because then it wasn't about my writing, it was about a character. This is about my writing. And my writing has just evolved since then. And I'm definitely trying to come to terms with the idea that we're all learning and growing, and my craft is constantly evolving. And I think at the end of the day, what I want most is to have fun when I'm writing stories, because that's the whole reason I wanted to be a writer. It was the most fun I'd ever had. It was a huge escape, and so first and foremost, I want to have fun. But I also feel like I can't continue with the story unless I edit Queen of Myth and Monsters. And I don't know, I think back on it, and I feel like I wouldn't have changed anything about the story in December of 2022. There were a lot of just really hard things going on around that time, that was around my dad's birthday. He had been gone for 3 or 2 years by then. I remember when I was on tour for that, for the book, and I was at the airport, and I just couldn't, I was like, why am I so sad? I was teary at the airport, and I realized then it was the 23rd, and I was actually in Arizona, and I was trying to fly into Washington, and that was a bad ice storm had come through, and I got sent home. And I was very grateful, actually, because I needed to step away and be, with my loved ones. And so I went home, and some bad things happened when I got home, but it's fine. Anyways, I think that coming back to QMM has been interesting, and I just really want the series to be the absolute best it can be. And I feel like unless I go back and do some of these edits, it can't be. And I know that's not true, because there's so many of you who love it. Maybe I should rephrase. I think what it is that I want to give this book the best chance it can have. And I'm excited to go back in and to do some edits on the book and to pave the way for an even better third book. So yeah, I just wanted to give you sort of an update on where my brain is at and what I'm working on. And this includes Born of Flame and Sacrifice, which is the prequel to the book. And it's been really interesting to ideate as I read QMM, because I'm making some parallels to the choices that Adrian makes and what happened in the time of him and Yesenia. So it's just, I love that discovery element of writing. I always will. I love when things just magically connect, and my editor would say they don't magically connect. I just have it all in the back of my head and it comes out when I need it, which could be true, but it feels like magic nevertheless. So I'm trying to do more of these video diaries to just be like very open and raw, I think, because so many things are just like really overly edited and rehearsed, and life just is not that way, y'all. So anyways, I'm going to get to work reading. I'm really trying not to beat myself up and feel downtrodden by the edits or feel embarrassed about the work that I did do, because I think, you know, obviously we do our best in the time and place that we're at. So I'm trying to give myself some grace and move forward with excitement and honestly forgiveness. Actually, there's nothing to like forgive. I'm just trying to build a better foundation, you know? And the beautiful thing about this is that I can, because of the way that I've published, you know, coming from self-publishing, the situation I have with Bloom, it all gives me the opportunity to do these things. And that's what I love about my situation, is that sometimes we think that books have to be like once they're out there, they're out there. And in a lot of ways that's true, but also they can be a malleable thing. They can change and they can evolve, and that's okay. And I think that luckily I have the readership who understands and loves that part. And all of this to say that, you know, if you're a writer or, you know, an aspiring writer, I think just be so hopeful in the evolution of your craft and the evolution of your career, and know that like all the power resides within you. Like whatever you want to do to the story or change later, it's okay, you know. I think we put too much, we give too much power over to the industry where things have to remain as they are, and not in everything, but you know, in the way a story is executed sometimes. So anyways, that is all I have for today. I'm gonna get back to work. If you are here at the end of this little video, thank you for sticking around and listening to me ramble. I'll talk to you guys soon.